Let's think about sort of finishing off our program. A couple of things I need to do. So let's see if I can find the old version, anagram7. There we are. And what I'm going to do is save this as anagram8, but I'm going to call it method 1 because we're going to do 2 methods. So file, save as, anagram8, because we've got new sets of programming, and then method 1, which is going to be us encoding and decoding the works. So let's save that. Now what I've got in here is get registered user, and really that is this piece of programming here. But I've also got add user, which is something that I really never considered. I really need to sort of amend my menu to include add user, and maybe I could just have it so that only the admin could add user. Again, that's going to be a bit too much for the program. I think we can just put anybody can add a user as long as they can log in. And also we need to have at least one person in our file. Otherwise, when we try to get the user details and we've got an empty file with no users, it's got nothing to check it against and it will always fail. So we need to have at least one person in our file. So this one I'm going to just do print and edit this. So this is going to be for add new user. So that one's going to be 5. I'm going to have to change that to also include the number 5 and change my message on the screen to 5. So that's taken care of that. Now I can happily just put add user. Let's cut it from there rather than copy it. I can put my add user in there. What I'm also going to have to do is change my choices. I'm going to have another elif statement in here. Elif choice is equal to 4. Then we are going to add a user. So that's taken care of adding new users to the file. Now we need to work on this registered user. So although we've got it kind of working here, we need to keep looping until we get a user in the game. And that's exactly what we've got here. So we need to return an empty string if the person doesn't exist. So let's create this function in here. Def, let's just copy it from here. I had it somewhere. It's rather large, this program now. There we go. So let's copy all of that and put it in here for testing purposes. So all of this is going to go from there and is going to be pasted in there. And we need to indent all of that. Okay. So we need to bring the return name back to there. Now, if the name equals is empty, it's only going to change. So if I do this, if I return username, so I don't need the print, whoops, I don't need the print statement in there. Oh, and I can see something else I can do. Remember, I up here when I did all of this function all in one, I'm going to do the same here because I've got username equals. So I'm going to copy all of that code there and paste it there. So that's the same thing. So I can now lose that line. And hopefully that will work. We need to test it. And instead of having else person doesn't exist, let's make sure that we do username equals the empty string. So either the username is going to be returned as a value that is in the file, or it's going to be the empty string when we return it. And that's what our little piece of programming says here. So name is going to be empty. Well, name is empty. Do this. So we get the registered user. Running out of space. If the registered user is somebody in the file, then that is set to the first item, which would be the username, and it's returned to the main program. However, if they're not, the username is empty, gets returned to the main program, and while it is empty, it's going to keep asking that question. So it's not going to let us log in until we give a valid username and password. So we can just do a little bit of testing with that one, so we can get rid of that. And let's just pinch this code. Why recreate the wheel? Whoops, let's close that down. So there's our code name. It's exactly the same as our main program, no problem. So let's run that and see what happens. Ooh, yeah, that's fine. However, what I really wanted to do was, once I break out the loop, print you are logged in, so I know that we're logged in. Right, I think that is it before we copy everything into our main program. So let's run that. Please enter a username. Right, let's start off by entering somebody that is not in the database. So Mike Howells, and it's asking us for a username. Let's put in a username that is in the database but not a password. Pass, and it won't let us in. So let's do one that is in the user text file and a correct password. It says you are logged in. So that is working as expected. So now I just need to copy all my work from my test file back into my main program. So I'll start doing that in the next lesson, and then we'll run through some tests, and that should be it basically.